Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name's Fiddle. We are on tutorial number 3 of making Madeleine's house in miniature. In this episode, we're going to be putting our walls together. Don't forget to check the link in the description labeled Scavenger Hunt. That will take you to the list of materials and free printable pattern where you can make this house for yourself. Before we can move on to building, we have a few more things to do with the walls. First, we need to cut the windows and doors out after wallpapering last week. Now the next part is only for those of you who doubled up your walls. I didn't at first, so I had my structure pretty much built before I added on the second layer. This is also the time to add your windows so you can sandwich them between the two layers. If you're not doubling up on your layers, you can just glue the windows to the back side of your walls. We also need to add the trim to the doors and windows. There are a few different ways to do this. The way that I did it was laid my wood paneling underneath of my windows and traced the inside shape onto it. For the round window, I just found a circle that was just a bit bigger, and that gave me my outside circumference. But I would say for the rectangle windows, 1/4 of an inch strips would work just fine. Next, you'll need to measure or know the thickness of one layer of your material. Mine is 3/16, so I cut strips in 3/16 of an inch. This covers up the raw edge on the inside of the window to give it a sill. Okay, with that done, we're ready to start building. Starting with the stairs and tower first, because it is going to essentially be the hardest part of this whole build. In last week's tutorial, we did add the riser to the front of the stairs, and now we're just going to be attaching them to each other and the walls. I tried 2 different methods while doing this. For the first few walls, I just held the stairs in place until they stayed. And this worked, but it took forever. Now we're ready to glue our 2 stairs together, and it was at this point that I realized tape was going to be my best friend for this. Add glue along the edge of the lower stair and the seam between the walls and tape them together. Keep going until you have all of the wall panels with stairs attached together. At this point, I had forgotten about the wall under the stairs, so I made a framework rectangle to put in that space until the wall was dry. But since you have it on your pattern, you can go ahead and put the wall under the stairs in place. Now we can add the wallpaper and wood paneling to the inside circle of the stairs. We're going to start by gluing our paneling to the top step and wall under the stairs. Hold it in place with tape until it's dry. Now start from the first step and glue your way all the way up to the top, holding it in place with tape as you go. And you may want to use painter's tape over masking tape. Masking tape will work, but I can't guarantee that it won't peel away your paint. Now we're going to continue building the tower by adding one of the solid walls that don't have any doors or windows on it. To keep everything straight and give support to this wall, go ahead and add your second floor landing on top. Now add the last solid wall. Then add the wall with the door and close up our staircase. Yay! Now the stairs are done. I don't know about you, but it felt like I was holding my breath the whole time I was making them. I'm so glad they turned out the way they did. I did get a little worried there for a minute when I was putting in the inside paneling that it wouldn't work. The whole thing was crooked, and there were lots of places where things didn't line up. It really turned into a trust the process type situation. So if you have parts that don't line up or fit properly, don't be too hard on yourself and trust the process. It'll all work out in the end. Okay, now that the hard part's done, things are going to get a little bit easier. We're going to move on to putting the bay windows together. I found it easier to tape them and then put the glue on them after I got them situated. Flip the bay wall window over, then tape the windows on the back side. Next, add glue all along your joints. Add tape if you need to help hold it in place while it dries. Because the space is so thin between the windows, I decided I would just use trim in between there. To make the trim, I took 1/2 inch thick strips of the wood paneling, measured halfway down the center, then used my metal ruler and a ball stylus to make a groove in the cardboard where I can bend it easier. Keep going until you have enough trim for all the joints that you want it for. This even includes the tower walls. If you need the bend to go the other direction, then flip it over and put the crease on the back side. Once everything's dry, we can move on to final assembly. This was a little bit difficult to record on my table, so bear with me. Okay, the first thing we're going to glue down is the tower. To match up with the movie, the door should go in the place indicated on your pattern, and you may have to tape it down to hold it in place. Next, glue on the front door wall. And now the left wall. I just did not have enough room to keep this in frame. Next is the bay window wall. And lastly, the two optional walls if you're choosing to put them in. To stick with the movie theme, I chose to put one of the optional walls in, but without the door. I gave the option for the other wall and the door, so that way if you wanted to turn this into a pantry, you could. We never really see what's on the other side of this wall, so I'm going to assume that it was a waiting room. The last thing to do is add trim all around the floor. I tried to do a quick fly around to get you an idea of what it looks like. Next tutorial, we're going to be starting the furniture for the first floor with a wood burning cooking stove. And with that, it brings us to the end of our tutorial. If you're new, welcome. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for being here. And like always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment, as it really helps me out a lot. Thank you, Ginger, and I'll see you next time.